that we're live?
Nope.
Now we're live. Yay!
We're
Now
live.
we're live. Hello, hello. Good afternoon, good morning, good wherever you are, and nobody's here yet. So, welcome, Aga. I'm so glad that you're here with me. And let's just wait a minute or a few seconds to see if someone is joining us for our conversation today, which I think is so important. Well, you're the expert on this. Choosing ourselves without hurting others, without feeling selfish, guilty, all these things that we know we do, and we always have it. We all have it. So, this is why we're bringing this conversation live. And yeah, the crowds are coming in. I'm kidding. Let's just dive in. So, I do have some notes actually. It's really hot here in Spain, and I think my brain is a little bit fried. So I'll try my best. So, welcome to Gaia. Welcome to Gaia. Wonderful. Welcome to Aga. She's my client, she's my VA, and she's a person who I really cherish as a friend. And we've decided to come live again today to talk about this topic that is choosing ourselves, making ourselves a priority. And I think any woman who feels she's capable, she's doing meaningful work, who is building something real, we all have that still. We all still keep pushing when we should rest, and we don't set all the boundaries, and we postpone a lot of decisions. So, this is what we want to talk about. And Aga is here to share a bit about her story. Aga, it's all yours. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I'm Aga's Gaia introduced me already anyway, and I've worked with Gaia for a few months now, actually quite a few months,
Yep.
I think it's been. And it's been really interesting, and it's been really eye-opening, I think, for me, because when we first started working, I was going through the whole massive huge process of moving, and it wasn't just moving a house, it was moving a country, moving from the UK all the way to Spain. So a huge move, and it felt like, there was loads of stuff that I had to organize. A lot of it was on me, getting all the move, getting the animals sorted for the move, getting a husband sorted for the move, getting a house sold, and everything that goes with it. It was just really hard. But of course, that was part of my life. That was a big part of my life. But another big part of my life is and was my business. And I knew that the business is something that I needed to keep. I wanted to keep. I've done it for a while, and I wanted to carry on doing it because I love it. I love my clients, and I didn't want to stop doing it. But being in the middle of moving the country and trying to keep the business afloat and keep clients happy and make sure everything is being done was pretty hellish. It was really difficult. It was really hard. And when I started working with Gaia, it just kind of, we had loads of conversations about this, and loads of tapping sessions that I've never heard of. And I thought, what is a tapping session? What are we going to do? Just tap hands on a table or something? What are we actually going to do? And Gaia showed me what the tapping is. And as we did the first tapping, I can't even remember why we did it. It was me
I
going
do.
into my little overrides and panic modes, and oh my god, this is happening, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, I think I remember actually. And we sat down and did the tapping, and I could just feel like it's a weird way to describe it, but it almost felt like you boil a kettle, and I was at that boiling point. And then we did the tapping, and then suddenly the kettle was just cooling down, and you can actually pour it and have a lovely coffee with it. And that's how, with the water, that's how it felt, because I felt like my energy was just going back to where it should be, and my I wasn't so wound up. And I was quite amazed with the tapping, and I still use it now because it's saying things out loud makes you think what is actually happening, and it puts things in perspective strangely. So yeah, it's been quite quite a journey and it's been very helpful, and it's been great, but it's been difficult.
I think so. The story that I remember, I think that was the first time when we did the tapping together, was because you were in an overwhelm mode and you were in a very stressed mode of, I have so much to do, and
Yes, that's right.
and I can't stop. So,
Yeah.
and here's the whole discussion that human design, the way I use it, brings us to look at, and that is, how do I actually manage my energy in a way that I don't burn out? And correct me, I think you have known in the past deep exhaustion or even burnout, so
Huge.
you know what's at stake. And so one of the things was me trying to make you understand that rest is your friend, and you were pushing back on that, and like, no, I have to do all the things, I have to do all the things. And then it turned out that on top of you pushing, you were also trying to deal with clients who were not an ideal fit. So on top of doing a lot without resting, you were doing something that didn't light you up, that didn't bring you joy, that
Yeah.
didn't feel good.
Exactly that. And I think I didn't realize it at the time, but when you think about all the stuff that you do, and when someone points it out, it kind of puts things in perspective, and you start to realize, actually, I am doing a lot, and it's crazy. And, I'm going downhill, and I'm heading towards that burnout. I'm heading towards really crashing. And I knew I couldn't crash, because there was a whole new life waiting for me, the whole new thing, new adventure. I knew I couldn't crash, and it was very interesting to kind of recognize that. And with your help, I was able to recognize it. And yes, I resisted the 45-minute breaks. And I remember the first time I did the 45 minutes break was hell. It was horrendous, because I was sad that, like, no, I can't do this. Maybe I
Yeah.
should just scroll on Facebook and just check. But whenever I scroll on Facebook, I always end up seeing something or wanting to comment on something that I want to comment on. And I'm like, oh, well, actually, I'm just going to do a bit of social media for a client. I may as well. And then the 45 minutes is not 45 minutes for me. It's actually working anyway. So I had to be very strict, and it was hard.
So to tell our viewers the on the replay, the truth is that is not that I tell everybody you need to have 45 minutes rest, but for Ara, it was clear that
100%
her
needed.
energy type needs
Yeah.
breaks during the day. And she was trying to not have breaks because she was thinking that then she wouldn't be able to do everything. So I remember the first time you really did it, and what you told me. You want to tell the story exactly as it was? Like,
it felt incredible. Well, the very
funny.
first time I did it was horrendous, and I didn't like it, and it was awful, and it probably lasted 30 minutes, and I was like, oh God, I can't do this. Then I did it again, and I forced myself to just lay down and not move, and not even just close my eyes, just literally close my eyes, tent everything off in the house. There was no dogs were sleeping, the cat was somewhere, it was just quiet, a laptop shut, everything was down. And I actually forced myself, and I felt great. It felt incredible, because it felt like I took that break, I took that time out of my day, and it was in the middle of absolute chaos. It was just so much going on, and I thought, right, this is getting again to that kettle boiling point where I'm getting to the boiling temperature, and I thought, right, okay, let's give it a go again. And I did it, and again it felt like it's going down. So I wouldn't do the tapping, I did the break. But then, because I took that break, I think I took the dogs for a walk afterwards. I came back, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have an afternoon session of work, and actually it feels amazing, because I've got so much more energy. I can actually focus on what I need to do, and focus and do it well. And I was done later than normal, because I took that chunk of the day out. But actually it was amazing, and I'm quite lucky that I am able to do that with my job, because a lot of it is, I need to respond to things quickly, but there is also a lot of things I can do in the background. So if I take a couple of hours in a day, I can do it a little bit later in the day, but I never used to. So I think it was incredible, and I felt so much better for it. And it's just finding that right level, and if feeling your body and feeling how you actually feel within yourself. And when you feel, I am at this boiling point, that needs to stop, because I'll burn myself.
I love that idea of the boiling point. But hi, Odile. Thanks for joining us. Just so that you came in. What I want to get to is, because we're talking today about how to choose myself, and choosing myself in this case was choosing to rest during the day when you didn't believe that it would help you in the first time. And what did you feel? Not what did you think? What did you feel when it was this question, do I care for myself? Do I do this self-care break? Or do I push on because I have clients waiting for me to do what I promised to do?
I actually felt quite proud of myself.
Yeah, that's afterwards. But before.
Before I decided,
Before you did it.
Before I actually decided to do it, I was scared. I was scared that I'll run out of time. I was scared that I can't do it. I'm going to be letting people down because I'll just take time out. What if someone messages me? What if someone calls me? What if there is an emergent email? So I was really scared. And then I thought, okay, I really do need to, do that for myself. I need to choose me, because nothing's ever so urgently can't wait 20 minutes in my work anyway. And I need to choose me, because if I can't give, if I'm not feeling well myself, I can't give my energy to others and help my clients and do what I need to do for them. So if I'm not well, I won't be able to help them. That was my logic. A bit crazy, a bit
it's not crazy.
That's just how it works in my brain.
Actually, I think this is very normal, because this is how we are all wired and kind of trained from early childhood to behave, right? We are in a society where pushing through and doing more and perform and produce are rewarded more than someone saying, hey, stop here. I need to take care of myself first.
Absolutely.
This is still not seen well in our society, right?
Absolutely. And it's either, being employed or being self-employed. You see that, the more you work, the more you get rewarded, you get your bonuses, you get all sorts of different things. I used to work in sales, and the more you work, the more you push, the more you are there, the more money you're making. And if someone's completely money motivated, they will keep pushing. And if you take a break, they will say, well, what are you doing? You should be doing this, and you should be seeing this and this client and that client. And partially that was the reason why I wanted to leave the sales world anyway, because it was just, you're not getting anything back for yourself. So that kind of thing of choosing myself was there somewhere in the back of my head. It's only now that I'm starting to really work on it and really, really trying to choose myself more. But it was always there in the back of my head that I need to really think about that. But I think it's also, we as women quite often trying to prove ourselves to everybody and say, yeah, I can do this. I can totally run my business and do all these marvelous things. And a lot of women do that because we feel like we have to.
That's an interesting aspect that you just brought that one up, like proving my worth, proving my worth through performing. That is a big one as well. I love that you brought that up. Yes, absolutely. And I hope that you can relate when you're listening to this, because the question is, how do we step out of the system? We're caught in a system that expects us to behave in a certain way. And that's not only for having rest and doing more self-care. That's so much more. And I think it's even worse when we have people who depend on us, like when we have children. Then we have another liability, another obligation that we have to tend to, and it makes it even feel more selfish and harder to say, no, I have to take care first of myself. And it's so funny because we consider that then selfish, and we consider being there for others selfless. Isn't that a funny word? Selfless means I
Yes.
ditch myself,
Myself for others.
that self I should care for, right?
It's crazy,
For
but
others, and I'm harming myself by doing that.
yeah, absolutely. And I had that conversation with my client recently. She's a therapist, and she was getting to a point when she was really struggling in terms of amount of work she had, and a lot of stuff that this is very heavy work being a therapist. There's loads of stuff that people talk to her about, and she kept saying to me, but I can't just cancel my appointments. Her dad is in hospital, terminally ill, but she still wouldn't cancel appointments because she has to prove herself. She wants to prove herself. She wants to prove her as a therapist. She wants to show people, I can do this. I can run this business. I can carry on. I'm your therapist, so I'm going to be there for you. But we've had that discussion very recently, and I said, well, actually, if you not feeling well yourself, how are you going to make somebody else feel better? Because you're not feeling yourself, so you're not going to be able to be fully there for them. And that kind of made her think a little bit, and eventually we did cancel the sessions, which is good, but there is a lot of resistance from women to slow down a bit. I suppose it's not just women. I guess it's men as well. Men do that. Men, again, trying to prove themselves, always trying to prove themselves. So it goes for everybody.
I think the proving thing is strong. It's more the competitiveness. Oh my God, what a word. For men, but of course, I think this guilt part and don't be so selfish part, that's something that women are more conditioned to than men. Because we tend to apologize, like, I'm so sorry, but I have to take time for myself, or I'm so sorry, I cannot do this for you. So we start apologizing, we start explaining ourselves.
Even for being unwell, people apologize.
Yes.
I'm feeling so unwell today. I'm so sorry. I need to cancel. I'm very sorry. It's like, you unwell,
Exactly.
But I'm saying that, but I'm the same, I'm the same. I would still apologize, even if I'm in hospital poorly. I would still apologize and say, I can do this for you, no problem, but again, it just comes that proving. You have
it's
to
the
prove
pattern. It's the pattern.
and
we do not see the pattern, because I think what we can say about you is that in the beginning you didn't see the pattern. You were proud of yourself, and you were like, I'm doing this and it's amazing and I can do everything, and that was the first thing I challenged you, actually. And I said, are you sure?
Didn't I have a marvelous millionth business idea that I run through you, and I said, well, I'm gonna do this, like, whoa, hang on a minute, slow down a bit, you need to focus on that first. It's not you weren't shooting me down, and you weren't shooting my ideas down, but you were just like, whoa, hold fire, let's think about it, because we need to sort this out first. Don't run before you walk. And actually, I didn't. And I think if I decided to go with that marvelous business idea, I would have burned myself out by now, 100%, moving the country and having two businesses, or whatever I was thinking back then. So, it's recognizing these things. It's very important.
And I want to explain that a little bit from the human design point of view, because I'm a generator and I have this like constant energy, access to my own life energy, and I regenerate fast. But your energy type is different. You're a manifester or an initiator, as we say, and your energy is just not built that way to be continuously there, but it comes in bursts, and then it needs rest and recover. This is exactly why I strongly advised you, if not forced you in the beginning, to take that 45-minute break, so that you do not burn out, so that your body can come back down. So this whole conversation is not about this is how you do things, but it's about this is how you learn to do things that work for you, that help you.
Absolutely.
And it's not that all manifestors need to take a 45-minute break in the day.
No.
It's absolutely not that. It's like, but we have to look at, how is your energy over the day? How do you feel in the afternoon? How do you feel in the evening? How are you crashing down on the weekends and not I mean, not even able to have fun, enjoy, go out, whatever you like to do, but just go like, I'm so exhausted from work. And then I wait for the summer and I wait for the holidays. And when the holidays come, I'm either totally exhausted and I just try to get fit enough to restart the whole hamster wheel again in September, or can I really enjoy myself during the summer? Can I really unwind and not feel that heavy load all the time on my shoulders? And as you know, I'm inviting people to a 21-day experience where we talk exactly about that, how to choose yourself every day with tiny little actions that you can do just to feel yourself differently. This is not about making a big change and a big transformation. This is just about feeling, how can I take care of myself in a way that I have more energy, that I have more joy in my life. And when comes September, I feel energized, and maybe I've made some decisions of how I do things differently, because you tried the break during the day and now you're having these breaks during the day all the time. That is the change, and it's not a big change, because actually I know that you are achieving more now than you used to before, because you can tend to more clients now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what also the whole thing makes me realize is kind of like evolving, because I haven't taken time off my business for the last 4 years. I've not had a holiday at all. Whenever I went on holiday, I always went with my laptop. I've never taken time off. Never. I've just not had time off in 4 years. And I was saying to my husband the other day that actually, do you know what? Once things settle down a little bit, I'm actually going to take a week off. Now, I would have never said that even a few months ago. I just wouldn't. I would never say that. I would never say I'm going to take time off work. I'm actually going to be off for a week. I'll get a cover and I'll just be off. Never said that. Whereas now, I actually am, because I'm thinking, you know what? I've gone through such a massive change. I'm taking that time. So again, it's kind of like you mentioned earlier, is recognizing that pattern, is recognizing that sometimes, or you always should choose yourself and look at, you know, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm doing. I'm choosing myself here because, you know,
absolutely,
I need to. But I would have never said that before. And that's, you know, well, you taught me. You taught me to do that. You taught me to choose myself.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Oh, this is so beautiful. Thank you. Great way to kind of end our conversation, unless, Odile, do you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to hear from us? Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up and let you have, I don't know where you are, but here we have a beautiful sunny afternoon.
Very hot. Very hot.
Yes, I'm inside. Air condition is on.
Yep, same. You can't be outside. It's too hot.
You can, but I don't know. I was thinking maybe it's a matter of age, but what else can you do to choose yourself? What else? Oh, that's a question I would give back to you. What would you love to? Oh, in Miami, it's hot too, right?
Yeah.
What would you love to do differently? That's, I think, is the first question, is when you think of choosing yourself, and that's a great thing to explore a little bit here as well. When you think of choosing yourself more than you do today, what would you do? Like we were talking about rest and recharge so much because that was what Aga needed and what she's been changing during the time. But actually, what else would you do, Aga? Or what else, let me even think of myself, would I do to choose myself?
I think for me, I think you've seen that, Gaia, as well, is walking away from people that are not right. Like you know that I've been through the process of having a difficult client that I then decided that I didn't want to work with. It was a few months ago now, and you know it was really hard. So I think for me, choosing myself was saying no to that client, although there was this reward of you're getting extra money, it's great, it's a client, but actually stepping away from that client that was taking a lot of my energy was me choosing myself. And again, it was hard, but it was a huge difference, wasn't it, Gaia, when I
It
said to you,
was.
oh, it's done. It's done now. I've
That was
actually
actually the first tapping session we had. Now I remember it was you were like, you knew you didn't want to work with that person,
yeah.
and you were scared that nobody would come and kind of fill that place and help you pay
Yeah.
your bills, which is totally understandable. But we could see that it was a pattern and that it was an old fear, and it was not tied to that client. It was like, it's your pattern. And
Yeah.
I know it's come up late afterwards again, but now you know how to manage it when it comes up. That's the big difference.
Absolutely. So I think, choosing yourself sometimes is even walking away from things that you feel you have to have, because sometimes you choose yourself by walking away from clients, from relationships, from, friends. Sometimes I walked away from friends that weren't the right friends because life changed or something happened and we just weren't the right fit, I suppose.
And it doesn't have to be that dramatic, actually. Like, you don't have to end the whole friendship, but what is choosing myself as well? And I'm saying that because in some countries this is considered rude. It would be to say, for instance, no, I can't see you this Sunday because I need to be by myself. I need alone time, if that's true for you, right? I need some alone time, and that's why I cannot be with you. And that is choosing myself. It's in the small things. It's not necessarily always the big things we think about, right? So stepping away from something or from a situation doesn't have to be definite and forever. It's about being more honest, about vocalizing more honestly what I need. And that's another thing we've been conditioned to not do, right? To say, this is what I want and this is what I don't want. Very clear, very simple, right? I don't want to do this. No, I don't feel like it. Thank you. Right? And we don't do that. We start again explaining and apologizing, and or
Because we feel
even
guilty.
outright lying. Even outright lying. I mean, Spanish people are really great at this. They will never say no to you. They will tell you 100 stories of why unfortunately it's not possible. And if you don't get that cue and you start and you kind of come back to them again and again, you get like story after story. At some point you go like, okay, here's something I don't understand. So that was a little cultural teaching from Spain. I'm like, if you don't want it, just say no. It's okay, right?
But it is, you feel guilty sometimes, you do feel guilty saying no to people and or situations. And I think, again, sometimes I was doing that. I would say yes to people and situations and events where I really didn't feel like doing those. And it's hard to kind of, but then again, you learn about yourself and you learn what it actually fits your energy. And I think that's the key. If it doesn't fit your energy, don't do it. That is as simple as that. If it doesn't fit you, don't do it.
It's always as simple as that, but I think we don't like simple, right?
No, never.
So again, it's about the small things, and one of the small things, I'm just putting the link here, and it's obviously it's on my publication page, but if you feel like you want to choose more yourself this summer and you want to like give it a little bit of time and consider how things could be different and explore that, have a look, and maybe you want to join us. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being live with us. It's always a pleasure to have guests here. And thank you, Aga, so much for taking the time and having this conversation with me. And I'll say until the next time, have a great rest of your day. I'm stopping the live now, and I hope to talk to you soon, all of you. If you have any questions, message me, ask me about the 21 days. If you don't find it, no problem. We're starting next week on the 16th. So it's the right time to come over. Thanks and bye-bye.